Little old lady versus little ants. Long-time lurker, first-time poster. I recently got a job in retail at a convenience store mini supermarket in rural New England. It's a part-time gig just to help cover bills. My GF is a nurse. It's also my first retail job. I'm 49 and worked in newspapers for 25 years before retiring. Anyway, among the few highlights of the job is one little old lady who comes in every day for the local paper. She's in her 70s, all of about 4'1" tall, and is a total sweetheart, unfailingly polite, cheerful, and always smiling. If it's quiet, she'll stop for a quick chat. If it's busy, she'll wait patiently in line without complaint. She's a gem. So the other day, she comes up to me as I'm stocking shelves and asks if we sell in cups. I have no idea what she means, and when she starts explaining, I realize she's asking about ant traps. Yes, we sell them. I ask her to follow me. She immediately puts her arm through mine and off we go, like some old-timey couple out for a stroll through the New England fall. We get to the aisle and she finds what she thinks is the right thing. I tell her I might have to get some traps too, as we have big carpenter ants at our house. No, she replies, these are little fuckers. I usually just squish them, but there's too many now. I'm left walking her back to the checkout. She put her arm through mine again, low, trying to stifle my laughter at this sweet little old lady just throwing out the F-bomb. The next day she comes in for her paper. I'm on checkout, and when she's paid, I lean over a bit and ask, so did you get them? She looks me dead in the eye and replies, the little fuckers, they're deader than shit. Cue me retreating to the break room, closing the door, and just laughing for a solid 2 minutes. ATA, to clarify something, I didn't retire as in I never have to work again. I took a buyout last year and decided I didn't want to go back into newspapers. Half my life is enough, so I think of it as retiring from journalism, but not from working.
You shouldn't have put your head there. My store has an automatic sliding door just like a grocery store. At close, we power it off so it won't open automatically. But we can't lock the door until all the customers leave because that's illegal in my state. Last night I go power off the door at close and go have the cashier that isn't currently ringing up customers ring me up. We hear knocking on the door, so I look over and the customer is making the praying sign with his hand and begging to come in. Since it's after close, I legally don't have to let him in, so I tell the cashier I'm going to ignore him. This man then pries open the doors and walks in begging for me to let him shop. Now, if I wasn't going to help you before, why would you breaking into the store after close make me want to help you more? I rush over to the man pointing to the door and say, sir, you need to leave right now. We are closed and you just pried open the doors that were powered off. He starts backing up out the door, still begging for me to make a special exception for him as if I know him and think he's special. I see the man exit the store, so I turn towards the edge of the door and slam it shut, only to hear the man exclaim, you just slammed the door on my head. I look at the man dumbfounded, and his whole body is outside the door, but he is leaned forward so that his head is squished between the door. My first thought was to say, well, you shouldn't have put your head there. But I was too speechless at this customer's stupidity. You would think that someone would keep their body out of the way of a door someone is closing. He then exclaimed, why, you're not even sorry, and pulled his head out and scurried off. I honestly don't know what he was thinking.
Title for the experience I just had, Sure You Were. This just happened to me. I'm manning self-checkout and a guy finishes up his order. He is walking out of the self-checkout area, and in the bottom of his cart are 3 of those large firework multi-packs. Now the thing about fireworks is they need an age check because where I am you have to be 18 to buy them. This even includes those little snap things you throw on the ground. So I know he didn't pay for them because the machine didn't call for me at all. I step out and ask the guy if he was going to buy them. He starts saying one thing but backtracks and says he was going to put them back, too expensive. Being the helpful cashier I am, I take them out of his cart and tell him I'll take care of them. He just kind of stands there for a moment before leaving the store.
or will go into labor after I check out these sales. In college, I worked at a large chain store that happened to be going out of business, so there were massive closing sales. During the evening, while I was sorting some clothes in the women's department, a very pregnant woman and her mother walked past me, and all I hear is, "Oh my gosh, I think my water just broke." Naturally, I whipped my head around to face the woman, since that's not a line you hear every day. And sure enough, the woman's pants were wet and a pool of clear yellow liquid had formed at her feet. My first response was, "Oh wow," because my mouth reacted before my brain, just the amazement at the whole situation. I asked if they needed an ambulance to be transported to the hospital or if they wanted to take their own vehicle or call someone. And to my shock, the mother said that they were going to shop around in the store a bit longer because these sales are too good to pass up, and the daughter, whose water just broke and is leaking onto the floor, agreed. So they kept shopping and looking around and tracking amniotic fluid everywhere they went, and finally made their way to cash to check out. Meanwhile, my coworkers and I are scrambling to find the wet floor sign, but it is MIA. So I had to stand near the area where the woman's water initially broke and direct customers to walk around at the fluid. So they check out and leave to go to the hospital, and at this point the woman was definitely going into labor and was waddling more than a pregnant woman usually would to get out of the store. As soon as they left, we broke out the cleaning supplies and started sanitizing. I like to point out that when my coworker checked them out, she said that they weren't even buying anything baby-related, but all women's clothing. I'm not judging, because she could very well have had all her clothes and everything ready for her baby. But is a store closing sale really that important that you'll keep shopping even after your water broke? Never saw them again, but hope the baby was born healthy.
Man cannot understand how €1.99 plus €1 equals €2.99 claims our POS is programmed to add things wrong and charge more. Had an opening shift yesterday. This man comes in. The supervisor later claimed he spent 40 minutes in the dried fruit section trying to steal. So he comes up to my till with a €1.99 pack of chocolates in hand and a €1.05 packet of dried raspberries in the other. I tell him the total, and he absolutely cannot understand how it came up to €3.04. He tells me that it should be €2.04. I keep repeating to him that €1.99 plus €1 makes €2.99, not €1.99, but he starts yelling about how I don't know how to count and I'm trying to trick him. So I get out my calculator as he refuses to come check out the POS screen with only those two items and the total on it. I work it out for him on the calculator. The total shows €3.04. This does not convince him, and he literally says, "Your machine is wrong." I am exasperated at this point, and my customer service facade is totally worn off. I'm asking him what 1 plus 1 is, and he just shouts, "Okay, you're right because you don't know how to count." The supervisor and my manager step in at this point, and I don't know what they told him as my view was blocked by other customers, but he left. I had rang up his things already. He came back a few minutes later, much calmer, and told the supervisor I hadn't given him change, which is not true because the manager confirmed he had seen me count it out and give it to him. The supervisor just gave him the change because at that point we all wanted him to leave and hopefully he never comes back. I don't know how you reach adulthood without knowing what 1 plus 1 is, but a computer can never get a calculation wrong as far as I know.
Check out my other marvelous videos.